Everybody, Beth here, and I just want to talk about Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary's comments on temporary protected status the other day in response to a member of the press corps asking her about Afghans being endangered in their homeland and being forced to return. And so there were some inaccuracies in her comment that really muddy the waters about what TPS is, how Afghans entered in August of 2021. And obviously, if you'd like, you can watch the entire episode on TPS that I did with Sonia Norton and Daniel Salazar about a week ago. But here are the big things to watch for in Caroline Leavitt's comments. First, she says that hundreds of thousands were illegally paroled into this country during the fall of Kabul. They were paroled in through humanitarian parole, which is by no means illegal. It is a special authority given to DHS to bring people in with urgent humanitarian concerns. I can't think of anything more urgent than the Taliban taking control of Afghanistan far earlier than U.S. intelligence estimated, except for, let's just mention Bill Raggio, who had it right all along. TPS, she says, is not being taken away, but expiring. That's inaccurate. And if you go to the original New York Times article that talked about TPS going away for Afghans, it says that Kristi Noem decided to end it. That's not expiring. That is a decision to end. And from those who are familiar with TPS far more than I am, they have told me that, in fact, if TPS had not been renewed, it would have just renewed itself. That's the default of TPS, is to renew, not to expire. So another couple important things here, TPS only now applies to around, I've heard, 9,500 to 1,200 Afghans have TPS, because many were getting, other pathways to permanent status like asylum, or the SIV program or other things. And so this isn't some huge category of Afghans with TPS. And the idea that Afghans don't face threat in their homeland is preposterous. I've seen the ongoing predation on Afghans and our allies by the Taliban. So it's really important right now. This is obviously a very nuanced topic, a very niche thing that a lot of people aren't as familiar with, but it's important to get these facts right and to stand up for our allies.